Now we know why Biden only does interviews with weathermen like Al Roker. Last night he talked with CNN and it was a train wreck. Biden's losing the Israel and Hamas vote. But the Mideast isn't the top issue for voters. It's the economy, stupid. Instead of empathizing with us, he tried lying his way out of it. But he didn't get away with it this time.
Biden falsely claimed that inflation was 9% when he took office.
It was 9% when I came to office. 9%.
Inflation was actually 1.4% when Biden was sworn in, peaking at 9.1% in June 2022.
What's one more lie for a black Puerto Rican truck-driving Jewish professor whose uncle was eaten by cannibals?
Ouch. That would actually have been painful if Joe had any idea what was actually going on. If he did know what was going on, he'd still be reeling from the pain after the smackdown he's received after that horrible lying interview with CNN. They keep him shielded and in the dark like a smelly mushroom, so it's unlikely he even has any idea what has been going on after that interview. It was really that bad. If you haven't seen it, you're gonna be shocked. This guy lied all over the place, and Erin Burnett, who was the host of the interview for CNN, never called him out on anything. She was lobbing up softball after softball, and he whiffed on all of them. And he lied through his teeth, and she never even pushed back. Looking back on it, that was probably part of the approval process. I bet you in paragraph A of the agreement, in big, bold, red letters, it said never push back on anything that Joe says or we'll end the interview. How bad was it? I've got to show you something before we get to the video. This was an article in the New York Post, and it was brutal. They absolutely harpooned Dementia Joe. The New York Post editorial board put up this article and it says Biden tells a lie a minute during CNN interview. The White House rarely allows President Biden to sit down for interviews, and Wednesday's chat with CNN's Erin Burnett shows why. Biden told 15 lies in 17 minutes, nearly a lie per minute. And then down below, they actually went through every single statement and every single lie. Like they get down here and it's like, where's lie number one? Lie number one, I've created over 15 million jobs since I've been president. And they basically tear that apart. And then they call lie number two, other than Herbert Hoover, Donald Trump is the only president who has lost more jobs than he created. Lie. And they tell you what it is. Lie number three, look at what he's saying he's gonna do if he gets elected. He says he's gonna do away with Medicare. Lie. He just lied over and over. Lie number four, you know we have 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what their average federal tax is? 8.3%. Another lie. 15 of these have been itemized and they go through every single one of them. I put the link in the description below so you can go ahead and read that article for yourself. It's amazing. They charted every single lie. 15 lies in 17 minutes and wrote an explanation on all of them. But Jesse Waters last night, unlike Erin Burnett, didn't hold back.
What is new is that the media called him a liar. Where Biden really shot himself in the foot, though, is when he told you to shut up and spend more of the money you don't have.
There's real pain. I mean, grocery prices are up 30%, more than 30% since the beginning.
Look at his face. It looks like he's taking a poop.
Beginning of the pandemic, and people are spending more on food and groceries than they have at any time really in the past 30 years. I mean, that's a real day-to-day pain that people feel.
It really is, and it's real. But the fact is that if you take a look at what the people have, they have the money to spend.
Who has money to spend besides Gold Bar Bob?
He just made that up. Completely made that up. The people have the money to spend. They're just not spending it.
Fannie Willis, who keeps cash in a safe because it's a black thing?
I'm black, and I can tell you, I don't do what Fannie Willis does.
People are hurting and life's expensive. Doesn't Joe read the polls?
The polling data has been wrong all along.
The polling data, all of the pollsters, every single one. I'm not a big, huge advocate for polls, but you're basically saying right now, all of them are wrong. Every single one of them that says something positive about Donald Trump, every single poll is wrong. That's his excuse.
You know, how many, you guys do a poll with CNN, how many folks you have to call to get one response?
Joe's fighting with CNN. This can't be good. Biden tells factory workers they're full of ish, calls a reporter a stupid son of a bitch, and calls you crazy if you say groceries are pricey. Joe was supposed to be the genteel granddad who wisely guided us back home.
Now he's like the uncle at Thanksgiving that you don't want to talk to because he just comes out the basement once in a while to eat, and you just like want to get away from him.
Now he snaps when you point out that he missed the exit. Always someone else's fault. Even CNN sees it.
That sounds like somebody in Washington telling people you're wrong, and whatever your party is, voters don't process it that way. They don't like that.
Definitely don't like being told they're wrong, because it's how they're actually experiencing the economy personally.
They don't like people in Washington telling them they're wrong.
No.
And I think he's making a terrible mistake. You know, it may not be, if he doesn't win this race, it may not be Donald Trump that beats him. It may be his own pride.
The people around Dementia Joe are the ones who are telling him what to do. They're the ones who are giving him the information. Who knows what they're telling him? They may be trying to keep him in the dark so he doesn't get upset. We don't know. It's been such a shielded and covered campaign and presidency. We don't know what's going on. We don't know who's telling him what. We don't know who's advising him. He spent more than half of his time in Wilmington away from the White House. What is he doing there? So in any event, if these guys on CNN are saying things like this is wrong, who is advising him?
When you talk about the economy, of course, it is by far the most important issue for voters. It's also true right now, Mr. President, that voters by a wide margin trust Trump more on the economy. They say that in polls. And part of the reason for that may be the numbers, and you're aware of many of them.
No, it's more than the numbers. People don't need a poll to tell them how their life is going. That's the problem with the media, and that's the problem with the Biden administration. They don't understand that real people have to go to the grocery store. They don't understand that real people go and fill up their gas tank. They don't want to understand that people have to pay mortgages and rent, and everything is higher, much higher. But they don't want to grasp that, especially not this old demented dude.
These, of course, the cost of buying a home in the United States is double what it was when you look at your monthly costs from before the pandemic. Real income, when you account for inflation, is actually down since you took office. Economic growth last week, far short of expectations.
I mean, I can't get over how his face looks. It's like he's hearing these for the first time ever.
Consumer confidence, maybe no surprise, is near a 2-year low. With less than 6 months to go to Election Day, are you worried that you're running out of time to turn that around?
Now, before he answers, I want to tell you, this answer shocked me for 2 reasons. One, because the look on his face was, he sounded like, he looked like he had never heard this information before. And number two, his answer will tell you something. His answer will tell you they don't have any intention on changing things. They don't have they don't even know it's wrong, according to what he says here. Listen to his answer.
We've already turned it around. Look at the Michigan survey. For 65% of American people think they're in good shape economically. They think the nation's not in good shape, but they're
65% of people think they're in better shape right now. They're not telling him the right data. Somebody is keeping information from the President of the United States. There is no way he could look a reporter from CNN directly in the face and tell her the poll's wrong. 65% of people out here are really happy. They like the way things are going. It's completely obtuse. Nobody could be saying that right now.
They're personally in good shape. The polling data has been wrong all along. You guys do a poll with CNN. How many folks you have to call to get one response? The idea that we're in a situation where things are so bad. The folks that, we've created more jobs. We're in a situation where people have access to good paying jobs. And the last I saw.
And this guy wants to debate Donald Trump. Can you even imagine? Unless he's been fed this information or there's something in his ear telling him, he's just pulling stuff out of the air to get through this interview and get to the ice cream shop.
The combination of the inflation, the cost of inflation, all those things, that's really worrisome to people.
What do you think? How'd that happen? How did the cost of inflation, which doesn't make any sense in what he's saying, inflation, he may say consumer prices, but whose fault is that? He just seems completely oblivious.
With good reason. That's why I'm working very hard to bring the cost of rentals down, to increase the number of homes that are available.
How are you doing that? See, these are the things that a reporter should ask. What are you doing to bring the cost of rent down? What are you doing to bring mortgage rates down? Because you don't control them. So if it's the Federal Reserve that, your cronies are making money off a higher interest, why aren't they just dropping interest rates? So what exactly is it that you're doing to help homeowners and renters?
Let me say it this way. When I started this administration, people were saying there's going to be a collapse in the economy. We have the strongest economy in the world. Let me say it again, in the world.
Yeah, he actually said that. He said it's the strongest economy in the world. In the world. Gonzo, man. Double live Gonzo. If you guys get the reference with the great Ted Nugent.
Although GDP last week was far short of expectations.
Oh, it wasn't. Look, GDP's still...
No, it wasn't. No, you're wrong, Erin. Where are you getting your numbers? I'm Joe. I know the numbers.
What? Look at the response of the markets. Overwhelmingly positive. Overwhelmingly positive. And one of the reasons why people feel good about it, not being as strong as it was before, is they believe that the Fed's going to respond.
They hope they're going to get a rate cut.
Yeah. Well, so,
But he already said that's not going to happen. He's going to raise taxes as soon as he can. He's talking about 44% tax rates. This is absolutely nuts. I don't even think he understands what he has said in the past.
I mean, no president's had the run we've had in terms of creating jobs and bringing down inflation. It was 9% when I came to office.
And there's the big one. He completely just made that up. Completely. Nobody would have said that. He just pulled it out of thin air, spit it out at her. She never says anything back to him. And everybody is like, what? What are you talking about, dude? Just so you guys don't, if you don't know, inflation was 1.4% when he took office. 1.4. He has no idea what he's talking about.
9%. But look, people have a right to be concerned. Ordinary people. The idea that you bounce a check and you get a $30 fee for bouncing the check.
How did he get there? He went from talking about basically inflation and interest rates to like anybody gives a crap about a check fee. If people are bouncing checks, it's because they're writing checks to cover the stuff they need to buy that's too expensive.
I changed that. You can't charge more than $8.
Oh, thank
or your
you.
credit card, your late payment, $35. I mean, there's corporate greed going on out there, and it's got to be dealt with.
What about, but there's real pain. Grocery prices are up 30%, more than 30% since the beginning of the pandemic. And people are spending more on food and groceries than they have at any time, really, in the past 30 years. That's a real day-to-day pain that people feel.
It really is. And it's real. But the fact is that if you take a look at what the people have, they have the money to spend. It angers them and angers me that you have to spend more.
So now he's going to shift here and says, you have the money to spend. It's not that you have less money. You're just mad because things cost more.
For example, the whole idea of this notion that Senator Casey talked about, shrinkflation. I think it's on your program.
Same price for a smaller bottle of juice or something.
For example, Snickers bar, they did a thing, and it's like 20% less for the same price. That's corporate greed.
Greed. He's saying that corporations are being greedy because they're trying to make a profit as well. They have stockholders they have to answer to. He doesn't seem to have any clue. None of these people do. That's why Donald Trump is a much better person to be working on the economy. He's actually run businesses. He understands the ledger statement between profit and loss. These guys just say, hey, listen, I understand things are more expensive. You just have to, tighten your belts and earn less. That's what it is. So if you want to charge $3 for a soda and it's a 16-ounce soda, but now you're charging $3 for a 12-ounce soda, even though, gas is more expensive, labor's more expensive, the rent on your warehouse is more expensive, the interest rate on your property and your trucks is more expensive. That's okay. Ignore all that where we've raised your cost of goods and your cost of doing business and just keep the price here. This guy's insane. Absolutely insane.
It's corporate greed, and we've got to deal with it, and that's what I'm working on.
Biden's an angry recluse, obsessed with his legacy. He wants to be remembered like JFK, but he's going down as a mean liar who opened the border, botched the Afghan withdrawal, and destroyed the dollar. The media is confused because Trump's up in the polls.
I saw some today. I'm going to do a video on it where the polls from, I guess it's 538. They're actually talking landslide category at this point. It's that bad. He may take Minnesota. He may take Virginia. He may take New York. Who knows? But right now, the numbers look like landslide category.
And the Biden trials are backfiring.
Mm-hmm.
How hard is it for President Biden to get any attention, even though he's the only one who's campaigning right now, because all the oxygen's being sucked up down in that courtroom?
So hard.
Because he did something today, right? Biden was someplace
Wisconsin.
and he talked about something, right?
Yes.
Who cares? Who cares that he went to Wisconsin and basically bumbled and mumbled his way through something?
Infrastructure.
I heard that happened.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you where or couldn't tell you what it is.
You're like, he was out there somewhere.
And I give a damn.
Yes.
And not everybody does. So how can he get the attention?
We all struggle with this on how much you should cover these trials, how much we should talk about these trials. There's a lot of things happening in the world.
Oh, they wanted to arrest this guy for a decade, and now that he's in court, they're complaining?
It completely backfired on them. Now they want to basically do some backtracking and go, wait a second, we need to stop putting him on TV so much. This isn't working. He's coming out during the breaks at the trial and he's using the television for free. People are publishing his message for free. And then on a weekend, he goes to these rallies and has 40 and 50,000 people at him. Oh my God, we don't need to show him on television anymore. Stop the trials. I said it a while ago. I've said this a couple times. The best thing that Biden could do right now would be to call some of these people and say, drop all the charges, just stop. It's not working, just stop. We're gonna have to figure out another way. But at this point, they're pot committed and they're getting embarrassed.
Democrats aren't happy no matter what happens.
Has anyone ever noticed that there's just no happiness on the left?
Seriously, he's absolutely true. Think about it for a second. These people are just walking around in a perpetual state of anger. There is no joy, probably because they have no God, but there is no joy. There's no happiness. I never see these people on the left happy. They always want to break something and whine about something and protest about something. Hey man, get outside, touch grass, enjoy life. Why is it that every single thing you're offended here, you're oppressed there, and you just don't want us to talk about that, and you want to censor this person and have this person shut up? Go live your friggin' life. If you want to go out into the woods, and I mean this, if you want to go out into the woods and eat bark, have at it. Enjoy it. I hope you love it. If you want to go, with your significant other, whichever way that may be, have at it. I don't care, but you can't force me to consume it. I don't understand why you want us to consume your way of life. Go live your friggin' life. Be happy. If that's the choice you made, then you should be happy with it, right? If it's your choice, if that's what you want to do it. No one's stopping you, but yet you want to stop us from living our lives. It doesn't make any sense. Well, maybe it does. That's what, those type of people want.
They're not happy. They're not happy people. Now that you've committed to debate on the ratings-challenged Howard Stern show, let's set it up right now. I'm ready to go anywhere that you are. Anytime, anywhere, any place. Let's go, Joe. Let's debate.
Biden says he's game.
President, when will you debate President Trump?
Yeah, set it up. Anywhere. I'll go. I don't even know where I'm going right now, but I'll go there too.
Now, if Biden does show up at the debate, remember the playbook. Trump's a dictator. Economy's fine. You have money to spend. Migrant crime's a hoax. Republicans open the border. And if you vote for Trump, you have no self-respect. What's safe about an open border to proxy wars, record inflation, crime, and throwing politicians in prison for winning? Joe's going to have to explain all of that at the debate. What new is that the media called him a liar.
And that is new, and he'll never be able to explain that at a debate. And it's only May right now as you're watching this video, and the media did call him out, and it's only going to get worse. It's going to get worse for him.
Where Biden really shot himself in the foot, though, is when he told you to shut up and spend more of the money you don't have.
There's real pain. I mean, grocery prices are up.
I got to play this again.
30%, more than 30% since the beginning of the pandemic. And people are spending more on food and groceries than they have at any time, really, in the past 30 years. I mean, that's a real day-to-day pain that people...
She tried to convey to him that this is something that people can't just get over. And it's amazing. I had to watch this clip 2 or 3 times myself. He had no empathy whatsoever.
No, it really is. And it's real. But the fact is that if you take a look at what the people have there.
That at the debate.
Joe says that he wants to debate Trump. That's just bravado speaking, or dementia. I doubt it ever happens, but who knows? Maybe a new shipment of Depends and Adderall are on its way to the White House. He's gonna need both if he plans on debating Trump. That's if it gets that far. The Democrat operatives are getting restless. Once again, James Carville is sounding the alarm.
In Trump's warhead than he's ever been. Fewer people think January 6th was any kind of what it was, as an assault on the temple of democracy, the Constitution, I don't know whatever the f*** you want to say. It's going the wrong way. It's not working. Everything that we're throwing is spaghetti at a wall, and none of it is sticking, me included. And it's hard when you start in your 80th year, and you know, like anybody else, I have an opinion of myself, and the opinion I've come to is I don't matter. It doesn't matter. You can prepare, you can be on TV, or you can write pieces, you can have a YouTube channel, you can have a podcast, and nothing. And, you know, we gotta like try to think of something different, because what we're doing is really, really not working.
It's a landslide incoming, and they know it. You can tell that they're getting desperate, really desperate. And as I've said before, stay frosty out there, my friends, and keep praying. Let me know what you think about Joe's 15 lies in 17 minutes. Oh, and don't forget, speaking about rallies, hey everybody, Barry here. I just wanted to invite you to my live broadcast this Saturday night, May 11th, 4:30, as we do a watch party with the Donald Trump rally that's taking place in Wildwood, New Jersey. Donald Trump is heading to the Jersey Shore. I expect that's 40,000, 50,000 people may attend. I'm not really sure how many people will get online. Last week we had 60,000 plus. The rally before in Wilmington, North Carolina, we had nearly 75,000 people watching. I invite you to join me. We have some good fun. I'm going to give out some prizes. Last week I gave out a free hoodie and also like 4 or 5 different gift certificates for restaurants. I'd love for you to join me. Just go ahead and click the button right here to be notified when I go live. See you Saturday at 4:30 for the Wildwood Rally with Donald Trump. Talk to you soon.